Bada bing, bada boom. Oh, apparently bada blue just as well. Let me reset that. It's always something. Salutations, class! And warmest welcomes to all of y'all. How are y'all doing this evening? Welcome back, everyone. Warmest welcomes to Mal, Marky. Glad to see all of y'all. It is my happy affiliate anniversary, June 11th, which would have been when we did the very first streamiversary. So that means, by technicality, I believe this would be the actual date of my streamiversary to its exact point. Let me double check. I know I'd have a very easy point of reference. Guilty Gear Strive's release was when I actually started playing the game. And I believe due to a technicality, it was actually the date immediately afterwards. Yeah, worldwide, June 11th, so it's either technically today or tomorrow if you really want to be specific about it, but happy 5 years, everyone. We were immediately set up for something very specific and very special. So let's make sure it works. Ideally, I'd like to go ahead and beat the Elite Four with the rematch this time, and then, since we still have one more week before getting to the actual streamiversary, maybe next time we go around catching everything, even though we won't technically be using too much of them at the end of all this. Alright, starting off, we want to hopefully Thunderwave, but Safeguard's popping up first. Alright. That would have been the 1 and 4 that we were looking for. Psychic's gonna hurt. Let's get that light screen up before... Yep, not getting KO'd. Aww. Thank you so much for the cheer, Levy. I appreciate this dollar. Thank you so much. And yeah, 5 wonderful years it's been, and I've definitely found my hobby of choice. I mean, yeah, it's been gaming the whole time. It's always been gaming, but as just a little side bit for y'all, let me sneak up a bit more into the image here. This is the longest I've ever consistently committed to any long-term project, and I owe it all to y'all being so wonderful. Alright, let's go ahead and taunt. We will never get anything going first in here. Wait, until we get Thunder Wave. Let's see. Does Dunatdan also know Thunder Wave? Because I guess if we had, if we have 2 of them that can apply it. We get a resistance to both Psychic and Swift while we have Light Screen up here. Dunatdan's still going to take a huge amount of damage. And so we hope on Safeguard not happening right here, otherwise we figure something out. So, just in case... Yeah, we can still wear Mewtwo down quite a bit with just regular attacks. I don't know if we want to risk Screeching just yet. I think Alakazam comes out, puts us up a light screen, and then we swap back in. Howdy, Error! Delighted to see you! I did see your post from earlier. I have not had a chance to look at it because by the time you sent it, I was heading off to work, and I have just gotten back from work. But I'm absolutely delighted to see you, Error. Today is, by technicality, kind of my 5-year streamiversary. I guess it's technically tomorrow, but if you count for, like, the leap year we would have had in between, I have now officially been streaming for 5 years. Oh, wow. So, I guess it's a lot of different things to celebrate, Storm. Modiversary, just as well. So that would have been passed out on the previous streamiversary then, or just about it. Well, I'm delighted to see all of y'all here this evening. Nothing particularly unusually celebratory for tonight's stream. We're just getting back into a lot of catching in Pokemon shenanigans. It only shows to moderators, that's interesting. I gotta pay a little bit of attention to what's going on here because I need to make sure that we do not get Psychic while we don't have Light Screen up. Even with light screen up, that's gonna hurt. Howdy, Kahila! Glad to see you too. I hope you all have had a wonderful day so far. I mean, mine's just been work, so... It's been a fairly standard day, at least. Turning 5, I suppose so, if you don't want to count the actual VTuber model being about 2 months older than that. Enjoy your food storm. So this is a weird, long process. If we don't catch Mewtwo this time, it might actually be quicker for us to get some training versus the Elite Four and or some of the other trainers that we have, because I think the most reliable way for us to catch all of these stronger Pokemon is to have stronger Pokemon so that we don't have to do all these long-winded setups with Screech, Light Screen, all that stuff. Aw. Well, both of us then, Error. Roughly similar time frame. I'm proud of you too. I'm proud of you for sticking to what you enjoy the most. And I hope that at least the weekend brings you a bit less anxiety, Kahila. We're cooked if we take one more Psychic. I'm hoping for Swift. Darn. Yeah, those we can survive. Man, Kanto really got shafted for legendary themes. They didn't bring us anything particularly special. Just feel that you were the weakest link in your group project. That is a huge mood because I swear I've had that a couple of times in college and high school, I suppose. This is the game where you encountered shiny Mewtwo, not even by trying. Heck yeah, Tier. That's really, really cool to hear. It took me until Diamond to find a shiny Pokemon. But what was really interesting was something I didn't learn about until way, way later. Yeah, good. I was right in predicting that was right when Light Screen was wearing off. What would be cool is if we got someone that had Recover and Imprison. We don't really have to worry about Safeguard too much. It's just we don't want him to be recovering. And we don't have Heal Block in this game. You've been drawing and playing Don't Starve Together. That seems like a very Error Core game. How you liking it? Well, heck yeah, Error. We're all holding in there. Things have gotten a lot better for me lately, and I hope that things remain getting better for you. Hey, check it out. Okay, maybe 2 Swords Dances would have been better. Oh! Oh, so, that's a trend I've picked up from my partners, calling something someone's name and then core. It's a reference to a lot of musical genres being like, hardcore, or grindcore, or nightcore, and stuff like that. It's me making a statement that Don't Starve Together seems very much like your kind of game to be playing. Gotta hide from the darkness, or else the madness will take you. Alright, taunt. We can survive anything Mewtwo's got for us. And since we have higher speed, I think we get to just taunt anytime. Gotta not become a nobody. Exactly. Pea soup Mewtwo. I kind of like that. That's funny. And we have our own recover to use. Alakazam's cool. It's too late in the game for us to realistically swap to a different Pokemon to have on our main team. But it would be a cool idea. Does it tell us when taunt wears off? I don't think it does. Have I got a guess on what the combined Nobody and Heartless are called? But you may be thinking it's you promise it's dumber than that. Alright, I'll go for the very, very simple answer of no hearts? Always 2 turns in Gen 3. Gotcha. Wasn't it buffed to 3 turns later? Oh, I was hoping that would work. Would have been a huge callback. Yeah, I think the fact that we can't have anyone actually walling Mewtwo that well makes this take a lot longer. Oh, Light Screen and Taunt weren't off this time. High hopes. Yo, let's go. You love Don't Starve Together. Your favorite characters? Maxwell. Good choice. Your longest run was until day 346. Almost the full year. Yeah, we did end up playing that in late 2023, I believe. Let's go. Alakazam the champion, surviving on 1 HP. Storm, has anyone managed to get a watch streak that large? Marky, what's your record? That's genuinely very impressive. Oh, right. Forgot to taunt. Well, we're in trouble. They're called... Somebody. Okay. That's a little, odd, I'll say for sure. Don't gotta worry about Safeguard that much. Fly should do the most damage, and it's Mewtwo. We shouldn't be getting a KO with anything. Wait! With the drop defense, this might actually one-shot. Wait, hold on. Well then. Mewtwo's just a beast like that, I suppose. Can't keep a watch streak to save your life. I think we might not have a good position to sit here and catch Mewtwo is the problem. As much as I love this team, I don't know if we're set up for it. I think maybe Magneton Thunder Wave would... No, we want to lead with Alakazam's Light Screen. Who do we do? I think our strat's the only way we can reliably do this at the level difference that we got. Oh, do we have a speed tie? Or... Oh, this Mewtwo probably has a minus speed nature. But we don't plan on using Mewtwo for battling. We'll give it another good old college try. Has Safeguard ever had any reasonable spot in competitive? Like, I know dual screeners are everywhere, but I don't know that Safeguard has any competitive use. Yeah, status effects are a problem, but usually it's like Heal Bell or getting someone to absorb status effects. Suppose that's why Gliscor's so good. Knockoff Absorber, Status Absorber, that thing's never going to be obsolete. Sleep well, Error. Always delighted to see you pop in. And thanks for being here on a very, very special day. Yeah, Levy, we used the Master Ball on Zapdos just because, in my opinion, Zapdos was absolutely necessary for our team. This is why we need Trick, Pecha, Berry, Steel types. Referencing back to the Golden Go comic. I do love using Trick, though. That is one of my favorite moves to abuse. Tyr, I think the reason the only ghosts were poison is poison kind of serves as the token evil type in Generation 1. And in fact, 1/5 of all the Pokemon in Gen 1 are poison. Before we had Dark type, that was kind of the evil type to have, and that would have been given out to Gengar for, well, the whole Ghastly line, just for being very obviously evil Pokemon. The Nidos aren't evil, so maybe evil isn't necessarily the word so much as danger? And it doesn't mean that every single poison type... Okay, so it was used once? Oh my goodness. What are we referring to, Keila? Great critical hit opportunity for us. Now, so long as Mewtwo doesn't recover this turn... And it was mostly to PP stall other Mewtwo's. Interesting. Well then, that puts us in trouble. You can tank. I'm gonna throw out Luxury Ball first as a joke every time. Because that was the ball that finally caught Mewtwo on my first FireRed. And it's not happening here. So now we go for setting up again. I feel like we looked up whoever can imprison recover previously, but I need to see that again. Gen 3 attack dex, and then... Isn't there a moveset calculator? There we go. Not being afraid of the burn or paralysis is pretty good. Absolutely. So we're looking for imprison and recover. Smeargle. Smeargle is our option. That's saddening. And yeah, Heal Ball for the one-off correct every mistake that you've had previously is a lot stronger, for sure. It's a shame we don't have any moves that drop both of your opponent's attacking stats in this gen. Like, Cosmic Power was cool. That could raise both your defenses, and I guess we could make a huge baton pass chain, but I don't see that being necessary. I think it would be even less effort just to raise up our Pokemon to a stronger level. Right, Memento was this generation. Huh. Who do we know that learns Memento? Okay, but Memento requires sacrificing your Pokemon. Funny enough, it's Grimer and Muck. Coughing, Wheezing, and Latios. And by an egg move, we are not going that far. Gardevoir and Dusclops. Evasion stacking is nice, but we're wanting to swap out our Pokemon. That's why we're not wanting to necessarily do that, Storm. We did do that setup versus, Zapdos previously, except it was spamming Flash against Zapdos. Though you do remind me of a very good point. We might want to just use a whole bunch of Flashes here. Mewtwo's got plenty of PP to go with, so... Alakazam can wall you out pretty well, so we'll swap back. Don't recover. And 50-50. Or maybe slightly better chances than 50-50. I think you do bring up a good point though, Storm. We'll teach Flash to Magneton, and then try it next time. Howdy, Usagi. Delighted to see you too. How are you doing today? Take that. Another reason why Haxorus is one of my favorite Pokemon is because it can learn Taunt with that huge attack stat. Come out on the wall, Taunt, start setting up. Excellent wall breaker. I'm doing wonderfully today, Usagi. Today is technically the 5-year Streamiversary day, though the celebration is next weekend. Boy, that crept up on me quick. Oh, well, Storm, the thing is, evasion stacking won't work very well if Mewtwo has Swift. So that only helps versus a few Psychics, which Alakazam will just be able to tank anyway. Funny enough, if we had a Sableye to bring over from Ruby and Sapphire, Sableye would be completely immune to both of Mewtwo's attacks. Well, at that point, Storm, we would just want to be using the Sableye for having the double immunity. So we're at 1 turn. Actually, no, I think now we use Taunt. A special defense drop is a pain. You know what, we'll risk it. But pay attention to how few times we do actually get to use an Ultra Ball. Ah! Does Alakazam learn Amnesia? I know Alakazam learns Calm Mind. So far, we've been spot on with every single one of those taunts. Mirage is pretty fun, but he is also, like, one of the most straightforward characters you've got. You have Gun and you have Teleport. His other skills, I mean, the Tornado is really cool and really good, but a lot of his kit just doesn't have much sauce to it, I'd say. You can keep screaming for the Jin, though, and that's a great thing to have. And there go both of our max revives for this game. Darn. Good news is, whenever we block a move from being used from taunt, yeah, that doesn't use another PP from Mewtwo, so that does give us, technically, another turn to work with. I just realized, we swapped you into an attack. I think Bugsy survived Swift, yeah. I almost want to put Alakazam in a dual screen setup. But really, at this point, we just need to have higher level Pokemon. We can probably just grind for levels in here otherwise. Or maybe Versus Seeker in... I wonder where the best VS Seeker spots are. Okay, so apparently... Oh, there's a few varying opinions, but it sounds like there's a good spot in one island for a bunch of black belts. I think your chances are low just all across the board. Like, paralysis and minimum health is all the setup for something we're still gonna have to use like 50 Ultra Balls to get. Like, it's getting far up there, but with Recover and all the other high attack stuff, we're probably not gonna get much. 7 per... I like how you have all these little bits of important niche knowledge, Kahila. I'm still impressed. Oh, you made it. Well, fair enough. 7% does sound pretty accurate, though. I wonder, let's see. You know, what if we just kept trying them while he was at higher health? Probably the worst possible result, but... yeah, I don't think that's even gonna happen. So, Gen 3, Paralysis. HP is at 1. 8.1, apparently. You weren't actually that far off. Or a 6% chance at about half HP. Oh, I didn't know sleep was even stronger of an effect. I guess we don't need to worry too much about Alakazam, because the recovers in retrospect aren't really that much of an issue. As long as we stick it out. Close, getting close. I think Mewtwo might not even be that far away from struggle territory. Also, I think we've tanked every Psychic. We might have our shot here. 10 PP, and I think we've been hit with about 10 of them. Swift, I believe, has 20. Safeguard has a lot. Recover, unfortunately, also has 20 uses. Getting close. If only we had Roost to use ourselves. I think if we get Mewtwo into the red, it's not going to make too much of a difference ultimately between... what? 4% HP and 1%? This is not feeling like an 8% chance. He's too strong. Okay, I think we want to Swords Dance and heal. That way, every time we do False Swipe, it's going to do a huge amount of damage again. I think we survived one more Swift. Having a whole standoff here. So I'm remembering why sleep was so important. I mean, just stopping them from using turns means stopping them from burning PP as well. With the paralysis here, it's a lot easier to set up, but realistically what we would have liked is a level 100 Breloom that could just Spore, Substitute, and then False Swipe. I did train one up in... Omega... Oh, no, I had Alpha Sapphire. Level 100 Breloom, but there wasn't too much I had to catch at that point. The plan was to carry that one forward into future games, which... I wish I knew where my Alpha Sapphire was. The only Pokemon game I know the location of still is my Ultra Sun version on 3DS, which luckily, yeah, I still have. Have it right here on my desk, actually. I can pull that up anytime. Heck, I didn't even complete the post-game. Yeah, I think we might even survive one more Swift, but I'm not gonna risk it. We already have Swords Dance set up. We are, unfortunately, getting close to running out of our chance here. I forget, could you catch Zapdos and Ultra Sun? I think that was one of the Pokemon you could get in like the little extra dimensional things, right? I'm just getting the feeling it might be remotely possible for me to bring forward a Zapdos that I caught legitimately on one of my own games into when/if ever we do, what's it called? Sword and Shield or Scarlet Violet. Yeah, we're running out of balls. Net ball for a laugh. Come on. I'm surprised Mewtwo still has PP to work with. And the more I think about it, we're gonna burn through this many balls just trying to catch any other Pokemon. Because we still have Ho-Oh, we have Lugia, we have the legendary beasts. Show me the money. I guess imprisoning Recover isn't really a good idea either, because that would still be fewer PP to use in the end anyway. Or Mimic Imprison would be another interesting one to use. Alright, last chance. I didn't think we'd use all 37 of them. And nope. So I think in this case, we might just want to train to fight the Elite Four instead. We have spent a lot of time getting through all the stuff to get down here. I think getting some experience and coming back here when battling would be easier is our best option. And luckily, I remembered to buy a few more of those. Ah, that makes me so sad. So allegedly, the spot with all the black belts on one island is our best bet. And grinding gets a little bit more brainless, I guess I could say, once we get up there. Like, once we no longer have to think too much about the battling we're doing, it ends up getting a lot better. And the squad's back together. I forget, do we have move items? Yes, we do. So y'all have heard about those Pokemon centers in Japan, right? Like, you go there and it's actually a place full of Pokemon merch, yada yada yada. One of my friends went there in high school, just around our senior year, and told me that it's actually playing the Pokemon Center music when you get in there. I hope it's not that constantly on loop, because working as an employee there must be the absolute most horrendous experience. If you're essentially having the job to play an NPC. Hearing the exact same song for your entire shift has got to be some form of torture. So if it's right up here as they say, and it's a whole bunch of black belts, then... with us having 2 flying types, that should be really, really easy to grind. They're considered a violation? Like an OSHA violation? Or... what do you mean? Everyone has hit an NPC in everyone else's story. Sure, sure. Alright. It pains me to essentially end up EV training Zapdos here for physical attack. But there's not too much more for us to be doing, and yeah, whatever happens for the rest of the game. Oh, wait. Zapdos was our second Pokemon. Iram. Level 50 ain't bad. Yeah, if we can just drill peck everyone here, that at least gets Zapdos being probably the one that we want to have high enough level to take on most of the champion. Also, we don't have Machamp with us, so good luck with the Tyranitar, I suppose. Who is our Tyranitar counter? I guess Nitori. We don't have the extra special defense for rock types in this generation, right? Kahila, you are extremely big-brained, and I deeply appreciate your contributions. Oh, not giving an item. You better be able to learn Brick Break. Okay, good. Brick Break also helps against a lot of the ice types we'd be coming up against. Ice Beams are well, do we really need Ice Beam if we have Dragon Claw? Otherwise, we'd be hitting Grass types, which we don't need. Flying types, which the flying types we're gonna worry about are mostly... well, no, that pretty much gets rid of Lance's entire team. I almost feel like Dragon Claw's the weakest link here. Fly we can use as Dragonite's best, just neutral hitting attack. Especially since Dragon Claw goes off the special attack this game anyway. So yeah, allegedly this could be the best grinding spot because we got the healing to do here anyway. And call it a hunch, but I feel like regular trainer encounters stop scaling at level 50. And I think once we get most of them, or at least our... I think we're once again in the situation where the biggest issue is actually just Lorelei, and we don't have to worry about any of the other gyms coming out, or any of the other Elite Four members coming afterwards. Because we beat fighting pretty easily we can pretty much ignore ghost stabs with blocky. We'll just go for both hitting the same target in case we don't get a KO. Oh, you know what would make this way faster? If we're just going for a grind here, then we can just turn the battle animations off. $38 hours, divide that by 3 and what we've done. Oh, I'm hitting my bike button. Because I'm used to just registering the bike and only ever caring about the bike. No, Kahila, I didn't legit forget to overclock my legit GameCube Game Boy adapter. I just think it's tacky to use the speed up function on a stream. Oh, hey, they scaled up even more. Well, never mind. We've got ourselves a very, very good spot to go. And we've got the healing spot with the spa here anyway. Which button did I bind it to? Hold on. Input. And test. Room! Yeah. Guess that speeds up the time we've got too. Room! Room! Actually, that's really funny with the running animation. Yeah, because the audio cuts out, and I do feel like that's pretty tacky. They're surviving, that's interesting. I think when I was grinding this out, because I did get my Zapdos to level 100 on my original FireRed, I think Zapdos actually used Steel Wing on the champion's Tyranitar. But otherwise could just, like, Thunderbolt and Thunder through everything else in the Elite Four. Yeah, I don't like the audio cutting out for that. We'll do it when it's really funny and we have to run back to the spring. We also need some EV training in general for Zapdos, but this is only going to be physical attack here and there. Better than the alternative of audio speeding up, especially with Game Boy and Game Boy Color games being so sensorially abusive. Yeah. Even Some of the tracks on Game Boy Advance seem like they're a little painful to listen to. I did see one streamer who had their stream play breakcore anytime they used the speed up function. If we're gonna end up doing a lot of old emulated games, yeah, I gotta look up how to do that too. Totally stealing it. Absolutely. Speaking of old games being emulated, yes, Aria of Sorrow begins right after the Streamiversary. I'm waiting on this one to be done, because we haven't had it in a while where we were done with most games right around the time of Streamiversary. It's a shame you weren't there for the very, very first one, Kahila, because I still feel like my very first Streamiversary was my best stream. Because we had a lot of games lining up to where, both with Toho Luna Nights and what was it? Pokemon's Legend Arceus, that was the one. We had the final boss to get to on both ends, so just part of the Streamiversary thing was, hey, yeah, let's clean up all the final bosses we have on these games. Absolutely 110% yes, Kahila. That has got to be on my top 10 for games I'm saving specifically to play on stream with y'all. Like, that's in the same category as Lisa the Painful, Off, every quirky indie RPG. Yeah. B3313 is a 100% chance of being streamed at some point, depending on when I can squeeze it in. And I know Primey is a huge fan of that ROM hack too. And I'm curious about it because I've heard various different things about it, like it's a horror thing, or like a weird LSD dream emulator kind of experience. No spoilers, no explanations either. Oh, are there a lot of decoy versions out there, Kahila? Okay, so a surreal experience then, right? Alright. Zapda's at the point where it's able to one-shot most of these guys. Right? Right? Not right. There was some minor drama because of the project being abandoned, then another group retook the mantle, and so there's two versions. Well, when the time comes, Kahila, refer me to the ideal one to play. I like the little why me. Gives me a chuckle. My grinding spot was, I think, in front of Celadon, up until the point where I could just use the EXP share and just run through the Elite Four with anyone else. I could take down the whole Elite Four with just Zapdos and Venusaur. They were like level 90 and level 80 respectively, so I wonder if we should just split the XP share now, because it's way easier for Zapdos to get these KOs, and then, even though it would waste a little bit of experience, give that extra amount to someone who can't just reliably one-shot Machamps left and right. It's such a shame that the developers didn't think to put in a place to fight 1 billion level 100 Chanseys. See, I'm not sure if you're actually yanking my chain, Kahila, because with all the other creature comforts in here, I do consider that entirely a possibility. There's not. Or at least a place where you could fight 3 of them. Well, I think that's part of the humor, Kahila. I think it's funnier if it's hard to tell. I mean, I'm the kind of guy who likes to mess with people with that kind of sense of humor just as well. So, like... Am I joking? Am I not? I think it is funnier if you can't tell. As they say, perfect satire is impossible to distinguish from the thing it's satirizing. Also, why'd I give the EXP share to Kageyama? We need it on... probably Blocky or Bugsy. Because Kageyama can just psychic his way through all these battles. I wonder if there's a spot we can stand where we could get the battle girl that's walking from above too. Let's try that next time we refresh. It is 8 PM here, and it's still very, very bright outside. I remember there's some points in the summer... I mean, we are close to the summer solstice. There's some points where I've seen it still bright outside at 9, and I'm not even talking sunset. But of course, that's also daylight saving shenanigans, a whole bunch of things. We'll be streaming on the summer solstice, won't we? Okay, if they're not jumping up and down, they're not looking for a fight. And I think with Zapdos being our ace, essentially, maybe getting Zapdos up to the point, like, 5 levels higher than anyone else, even Sidewinder is what we want to be doing. I don't even think I got to finish my story from the very, very beginning of stream. So, what is funny is, it took me until Diamond to find my first shiny Pokemon. But without me realizing it, my Groudon, and only my Groudon, actually got Pokerus on Ruby. And I never figured out what that little dot on the status screen meant. Okay, so she does walk down here. Haha! And apparently got cured of Pokerus before I visited a Pokemon Center. Because I never even got the notification from Nurse Joy herself. Sharon, what a name. I wonder how many trainers out here are actually just trying to be trainers for training's sake, or how many of them would actually be trying to take like a gym leader and then Elite Four challenge. I guess that would just be the ace trainers, right? Because a lot of these folks that just have only their Pokemon and they're only training one type, that seems like just a lifestyle kind of thing. Like, oh yeah, I want my buddy to be a big fighting type Pokemon. Otherwise, you got, like, what? Ace trainers and breeders that train a variety? But, I mean, everyone has their favorites anyway. I'd probably train a lot of electric and steels. It's like the runners with the... bolts on the big dog. Yeah, that checks out. We're a bit overdue for break, but I'm just gonna do that once I start needing more tea. Because it's not like we're gonna be changing whatever's the scenery on screen much. Oh, well, I'm towards the end of my glass anyway, so it looks like it'll be soon. I think if we can get Ride the Lightning to be strong enough to one-shot Lapras with Rain Dance Thunder, then a lot of the rest of this should fall into place. What are you angry about, Kahila? Aside from the dozen or so things it would be reasonably angry to be angry about at this time. That's weird. Do you have any idea why that's happening, Kahila? Are they just crashing, or is the laptop falling apart? Why do all my 30-year-old electronics keep breaking on me? One of these days, I gotta command grab all of y'all and watch every single Strong Bad email. Oh, work or school laptop. That's a shame. And this is for college, right? Really? For college? Or borrowed? Well, yeah, borrowed presumably from college, right? It's not even your... Okay, that's interesting. Wait, they let you on YouTube but not Discord? Oh, okay. It's starting to make a bit more sense now. Actually, I don't think we even need to go all the way back. Come on. Oh wow, she doesn't even load in until we start walking up here. I like that they all have a jumping sprite, too. They would have had to make one extra sprite for every single trainer class. Well, yeah, YouTube is part of Google. I suppose so. And you can use YouTube for educational content. Twitch checks out. Yeah, there's no reason for that to be accessible on a school computer. Teaching on Twitch, though, that would be wild. And that would be an eventual dream of mine, though I don't know how much I'd be able to... Well, I mean... Nah, because the more I think about it, just about anyone that's doing the educational videos and such on YouTube, for example, I feel like they'd all have a degree. Yeah, you would need an actual degree to teach in an institution. But I don't know what kind of folks, I don't know if there's folks who do educational streams that don't, like, have a degree specifically for that. See, I'd love to go back to university and complete my degree so that I'd have much more of a reason to flaunt my ability to teach the things I know. 37 degrees. That was blocked because one kid was being dumb and watching that kind of streamer and... Oh, boy. No, you see, this stream's about the water cycle. That's why she's in a pool. Oh, wait, no, it was it hot tubs were the meta? I don't care. I'll keep streaming off meta until the day I die. I stream what I like because my friends like what I like too. And I like liking the things my friends would like. Some people were just in kiddie pools. Yeah, that also checks out. What, like inside an apartment? Oh, well, no, they could be bringing all their equipment outside. Shows y'all how little I know about the whole subject. YouTuber that I've been watching a lot more these days called, Much Like You're Posting. Details about things from the Something Awful forums. Oh boy, ain't that a fallback. And one of them was someone who just made a huge heated indoor pool in their basement. Welcome back, Prisma. Delighted to see you. And by yes, you mean indoors, typically. Okay, but doing that in a bathroom I don't think is that bad of an idea, but... See, now I'm almost curious enough to care if there were any catastrophes that went viral. It goes wonderfully, Prisma. We're training to get ready for the Elite Four rematch. We tried starting Never Wood, Never Carpet, which are the floors that I have. Yeah, we're training up to face the Elite Four on the rematch. Which does require a bit of grinding, but we're making it. We're making it work. Just made you extremely worried that someone electrocuted themselves. I can find the full video for you. It was a whole bunch of, It was a whole bunch of forum arguing where one person's like, oh yeah, this underground heated pool, which was just them heating up a kiddie pool directly under a lamp, by the way. They're like, this is the best idea I've ever had. I'm gonna bring people in. There's totally not gonna be mold on the walls and stuff like that. And he was arguing with everyone else on the forum about, no, this idea is brilliant. I'm not gonna have anything bad happen. When everyone else was talking about how he was building a dooming device and all that kind of stuff. Oh, meaning the bathtub streamers. This is why it's so hard to hold a good conversation on stream. Even with me set to minimum delay on YouTube, it still feels like a good 40 seconds for a conversation to get across. Ah, we missed the battle girl. One catastrophe you kept tabs on was a fellow that put Orbeez in their bathtub without a liner. Oh Oh boy. Luckily, I've never had any flooding issues. Let's see. We did have a leaking apartment in leaking kitchen sink here. But that was something that we just called the maintenance for, and we found it quickly enough that there wasn't any water damage, and we just laid a towel down there. Stopped using the kitchen sink for whatever for the time being. Yeah, things have generally been pretty good in the apartment for hazards and anything else going on. All right, we gotta make a whole trip. Ah, missed. One horror story that you have with that kind of stuff is that a neighbor's pipe bursted. Isn't the past tense of burst just burst? I think that's one of the things that can go either way, because if you say bursted, people are going to know what you're saying. Yeah, that's one of my huge fears of, so... I don't anticipate I'll ever be financially stable enough to own a house. Maybe I will when I'm like 50. Eventually I can buy something really small. But one of my biggest worries is that some sort of disaster like that ends up happening. Refuse to pay for fixing it because technically in your wall, and refuse to pay for the paint, and refuse to pay for the anti-mold stuff. But they'd be receiving the bad effects of it, right? I do get that, you say that facetiously, Kahila. But this is going on a record onto a YouTube VOD that's going to be up there until... I don't know. Yeah, be careful with what y'all put on the VODs. Just in case. Oil down the pipe? Oh, that makes sense. So, one funny story. When I first moved into my solo studio apartment, it would have been the first time that... okay, here's maybe one of my more embarrassing stories. Though it's not even really all that bad. I didn't know about the fact that the soap that you use in the sink for washing dishes has to be completely different from the soap that you put in the actual dishwasher. So, for my very, very first dishwasher load when I was in my studio apartment, I put the sink soap in the dishwasher and bubbles were everywhere. But, I mean, I noticed it as it was happening and stopped it. Again, no water damage. But it was funny that there were a whole bunch of bubbles coming out of the dishwasher. Pretty simple fix. I just powered it off and then looked up what was going on specifically. That's probably... I think that's my only utility weirdness thing that's happened. I've never had, like, surprise mold infestation. Ants have gotten into the apartment last summer. But that's kind of a... That's not something that you prevent, that's just something that you react to more than anything else. Melted a pot? How'd that end up happening? And with the damage variance being random, we're still not one-shotting those Machamps. Let's try... I mean, look at those stats. Beautiful, great all around. Probably would have been better to train you against something that could build up your special attack. Any details on that one, Kahila? Nah, it happens. We all gotta learn at some point. Luckily, I've never had any permanent or critical disasters. Just a few... Oops! Oh, that's what you're supposed to do. Sidewinder probably gets the KOs here from having to wait. Yeah. Higher attack than Zapdos has special attack, and then still getting a stab bonus. It's a shame Dragonite has nothing to drill peck with. Funny that you would know what molten metal smells like. Vroom. If we're just right about it, we can catch her as she's walking down. It could work something out with that. Yeah, especially considering Drill Peck's been used on things that don't have beaks. Okay, but it smelled burning and it smelled metallic, I imagine. It's kind of funny, now that Bugsy has evolved, Bugsy doesn't have quite the strong matchup against Bruno anymore. But who do we need Bugsy for at this point? I feel like without Scizor getting the glow up to be as strong as it is in Gen 4, what is Bugsy doing on our team? Though having Marissa would more than anything just patch up some holes in our team. Steel Wing's pretty strong. Probably handle Agatha. Yeah, I keep forgetting this is back when Steel still resisted Ghost. And Bugsy might be even better about handling Tyranitar than Sidewinder. I don't know if Tyranitar is going to pull out a sudden Rock Slide when we try to switch in the counter. Alright, one more round of battles and let's take our first break. Because I am just at the point of running out of tea. Well, thank you for the heads up, Kahila. I didn't know that actually, but I'll take note of it. Yeah, stab super effective psychic. Let's go. Blocky's getting up there now too. siphoning more experience than Sidewinder even has in the lead. I can't remember what the lead is. I always remember dreading that Tyranitar, but I thought it was something that came out second. Heracross lead. Easy! Easy money! Okay, branching off of that. Real, genuine question, y'all. Do you think I could get good at competitive Smash Melee? I mean, the actual current best players in the world, for what I know, are my age. And we've got folks conquering Third Strike at... Like, wasn't one of the Third Strike players right around 40? I think I have the capacity, but I don't think I have the time frame to put that much into learning it. Like, Melee I love. I don't think I love Melee enough that I would put the time into learning Melee and continue putting in the time to learn, to keep up with Melee. That I'd be able to stay good with it. Because something without a buffer like that, that seems like that would be very, very difficult to keep up with having the technical execution skill for without playing it like weekly at the very least. And I don't know if I don't know if I have it in me to do that. But things I also don't have in me are Morty with, which we're going to be hopping on a break real quick, and we'll be right back. I'll give you all the pleasant music here to listen to. And I know you see my hair peeking in from the very side. We are back in Business. Do y'all ever think about the fact that for the anime they made Pikachu not evolve into Raichu, that they kind of ruined Raichu for the rest of Pokemon's existence? Raichu deserves better. Way better. Wait, until very recently? I mean, are you talking about Mega Raichu, or did I miss something else that went on? Oh yeah, I mean, the recognition for the alternate form for Raichu. Yeah, I did see about that. I don't think I saw a lot of the other things going on. Still, yeah. Glad to see Raichu get some recognition. If we got Mega Pikachu instead, there would have been riots. Like, we got Gigantamax Pikachu, but I don't think we got one for Raichu. Alright, I think we're in a very, very good position pretty soon. Though it might just take forever to get us to a good point. I mean, fighting against the Elite Four trainers, even if we lose to them over and over again, we get a few KOs in there, we'll be good. Original rivals Cat and Mouse, and of course Meowth being the Pokemon that Team Rocket has. So remember last time that we were trying to go in for the rematch, we were getting absolutely stomped. Hopefully we have enough to make a difference by now. Though I'm sad to say that our two strongest mons are still going to be weak to ice at the end of the day. But I think if Zapdos can sweep through with Rain Dance, then all's good. We just need to land a one-hit KO with, well, we can't do that on Piloswine. See you soon, Kahila. Alright, I think we're good to start. Let's save just in case, and then we at least have a much quicker way to just reset if it turns out we're still way under-leveled. And heck, leveling up Zapdos to, like, level 70 should go over just fine. Take me back to Vermilion, my friend. Have everyone take on whoever they have an advantage against. Sidewinder probably still gets destroyed by Lance, but we also have Blocky to help take care of that too. And this time we'll focus on just using the Lucky Egg. No EXP share. I mean, sure, I guess. Alright, barely leveled up, but let's give it another go. Oh, and we just overrode our save anyway. Oh well. We'll make do with what we got. You know how it goes. No one can best me when it comes to icy Pokemon. I'm gonna give you the exact same introduction every single time. Rehearsed. No accuracy checks here. And we forgot to turn back on the battle animations. Good. And I think through fighting here, we should be able to get something other than attack EVs. Assuming Zapdos isn't maxed out yet. Yeah, way more experience, way faster leveling. Lapras? Here we go. Here's the big problem, child. Ah, the full restore comes out. Thunder while we got it. I feel like you're still faster, but I do want to send in someone who can resist you pretty well. Because now we just have Piloswine and Jinx to worry about. Don't fall asleep. Done. Well, we still resist most of what Jinx has. So if we luck out, we're good. Saddening. So deeply saddening. Yeah, good damage. I don't think we survived this. Yeah, fast sleep reviews are great. And no competitive sleep clause for us to use here. It keeps happening! Oh, that's just unlucky. I feel like Drill Peck might KO, because I know Jinx has atrocious physical defense. Okay, we should have just tried that earlier. I don't know if a Giga Drain KOs from here. And we have to choose those wisely. Because we only have 5 of them for the whole of the Elite Four. Though we should have plenty of Lepa berries. Alright, so as long as we get past her, I think everyone else is a lot easier. Happy to see us, RTL. I don't think we have any calciums left over. Yeah, nah. No bullet punch on Scizor either. Goodness. Like a Swords Dance bullet punch would probably have swept through a lot of that. And once we figure out a method to reliably get through this, then we'll have to burn fewer healing items. Alright, keep it going. I mean, like I said, Zapdos can probably... Oh, welcome, Secret Potion. Yeah, really, really proud of this team. It's bringing together a lot of my favorites. Zapdos, of course, is someone that we absolutely needed. I'm a huge fan of Porygon 2 and Scizor, and the rest were just kind of what fell into place. I played through FireRed twice before with a Charizard and a Venusaur, but I have not yet done it with a Blastoise, so that's why we got that here. Alright, Kageyama, you have a good type matchup here against most of what Bruno's got. Oh, and we didn't swap the Lucky Egg. We'll be fine. It's less about getting experience now, but just making sure that we can win through the whole thing. And we forgot to turn the battle animations back on. Alright, no rush. Yeah, I think previously I would have used Venusaur to sweep through Bruno. I mean, poison resists fighting at least. Cool that he evolved his Onyxes though. Really, that much special defense? And who do we got? Yeah, the other one. I think Sidewinder can deal with most of the rest of this, right? I think our rival starter gets all the way up to level 75. It's something really, really high up there. Oh, goodness. Howdy, Aaron. You just missed the Blastoise. What are you in here on that for? Alright. For you, buddy. For you. We want to use a regular attack here because here comes the full restore. Yep. And then while we have the speed advantage, we fly. But how you doing, Aaron? There we go. That's pretty much the whole tea glass. Almost the whole thing. Puts us right back on schedule, doesn't it? Good enough. And only 1 KO here. My job is done. Go face your next challenge. Alright, battle animations back on. But how you been, Aaron? Unless you're doing just a drive-by flooding, as usual. Delighted to see you regardless. We are on our Elite Four rematch, and so far it's going a lot better than I was worried about. Also, you don't need Rock Smash anymore. What are you doing? Not paying much attention? I mean, that's fair. Entirely fair. Today's been kind of a whatever day for myself just as well. Pretty standard day at work, get to come home, stream for y'all. Yeah, Porygon 2, the absolute classic. Love them so much, and we got a quiet-natured one. 170. Yeah, that's actually really, really high among a lot of what we have. Wow. Do you still have the lucky egg? Yeah, let's see how Blocky does. Because immune to Ghost and Psychic, so we should beat any of the Gengars that show up. We've got, like, Gengar... What do we have? No, because Hoenn Pokemon don't show up, so... I think we only get, like, Misdreavus showing up out of Johto. Do we even have any other Ghost types from that generation? Is it just Misdreavus? But that was decades ago. He's a shadow of his former self. We've heard this whole song and dance again. Alright, Blocky. Show her what you're made of. Because I got a little friend called Super Effective Psychic. Now I remember why speed was important against Agatha. Oh boy. But what, do you use Dream Eater? Oh. Sure, that's an option. Blocky tanking like a champ? Yeah, since we don't have to worry about any stab ghost type attacks, I think we're good with Blocky, even just with Blocky. Oh boy, do I got a present for you. Physical attack this generation. I almost think we'd get so much more mileage out of... Watch this. So much more mileage out of leftovers on Blocky in this battle. I'll take that free switch, thank you so much. Huge damage. But we resist just about anything else that I think could be coming out next. Yeah, we're not really all that scared of Mistress. This is before Dark-type Physical Pursuit, sadly. You early generations in your diverse move pools. The fewer revives we have to burn through, the better. Yeah, we actually kicked a lot of Lorelai's butt. Biggest issue was Jinx putting our Pokemon to sleep and then just sweeping from there. Bruno was extremely easy. Yeah, Lorelai is actually just the hardest one for us to get through. Though we might have some trouble now. No Ice Punch here to worry about. Ah, darn. Yeah, I'm gonna gamble on the Thunder. Yeah, Bruno having 2 Steelixes, and why? Oh, Dragon Dance, how I miss you. Unless you're doing, like, what, a Magneton-only run? Really? Well, I guess that's what that level is for. Yeah, solo with the normal type. This Gengar here might stop us, actually. Just from being that high of a level, more than anything else. Really, again? Maybe this is why I was so greatly attracted to using offensive sweepers as a kid. It's a lot easier to plow through the Elite Four if you don't have to worry about full restores. Thunderbolt's gonna hurt, but Gengar's got a super effective hit on anything else on our team. Live! Live the coverage move. Still not enough. I'm astonished how tanky they are just from having the high levels. Really, no Shadow Ball. This actually, I think we can win. I will sleep you, though. Oh, Arbok's faster. Never mind. Doesn't matter. Shame we don't get to steal the Intimidate and use it against them, though. That's just wrong. You're more of a poison type Elite Four than anything else. Well, we can get through the first two members pretty reliably. I didn't even know Arbok could learn Earthquake. Wow. I don't know why I'd need to scurry to a Pokemon Center. It's just a walk right back out over here. Like, if you lose the Pokemon fight, I'm pretty sure the Elite Four members are just gonna let you walk right past them. So one, the biggest issue is we can't have Dragonite just set up Dragon Dance against everything. We will want plenty of revives, goodness. We could buy twice as many Hyper Potions, but... Silly as it is, our actual best strategy might just be letting Zapdos level up. Because once we get to the point where we can one-shot Lapras, I think the rest of Lorelei just goes down easily. Yeah, this is where we're going to continue. Unless it turns out that getting past, like, Dragonite is completely impossible. We might have to do some more grinding next stream, too. Or even make the next FireRed stream just attempting this over and over again. I'm saddened that we don't have very many other places that we can grind for levels. Bum 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 bum. Also, it felt like we were getting a lot of experience just from these first few Pokemon here. Like, Cloyster and Dewgong were giving a lot for Zapdos. Yeah, 3,000. And maybe once Zapdos is able to sweep through here reliably, then we just give the EXP share to everyone else who's lagging behind. Though that probably still ends up being Sidewinder just for being our best, answer to Lance. Our Lancer? Here's the only real problem we have. Lots of HP, lots of special defense. But we get a crit. And then I'm still sure our strongest attack's just gonna be Thunder again. Yeah, eventually I did have a PP max used on Zapdos' Thunder in my original FireRed. We might have to do that here too. I've been saving them for the end here so that we can strategize around it. Probably does about half. A little bit less than that. I don't think Piloswine has that much special attack. Yeah, but hitting for that super effective damage is gonna do a lot. Aw, thank you so much for the follow, Secret Potion. I'm getting back on my Pokemon grind after leaving it for a while as a bit of an introduction. I'm Xander Turing. I am a scientist professor VTuber who plays a lot of Not Pokemon most of the time, but it's usually roguelikes, fighting games, simulation games, a lot of complex ones. Pokemon, though, is a very long-time favorite of mine. We're almost done with FireRed, and then... I don't know if we're picking up another Pokemon game real soon. But if Digimon is also your thing, Digimon Time Strange or something that we're starting in just a couple of weeks. Also, you met me on my 5-year stream anniversary, so I've been doing this for quite a while, and I plan on sticking around. Streaming is my love. I found it to absolutely be the case. Great critical hit. So we know Steelix is coming out first. Just because I really like Nitori. Yeah, let's have you try to get the bulk of experience here. Pokemon is an excellent vector for which we can vibe and yap. Indeed. Nope. There's like an ever so slight delay with the menus I'm noticing. I don't know if that's the emulator or if that's just FireRed itself. And after Streamiversary, I'm really excited to get back to doing a lot more game dev streams for y'all. Shame we don't have a Slowbro. A Slowbro would absolutely destroy Bruno. Water for the Steelixes, Psychic for everything else. We don't need strength on Nitori anymore either. Ah, so close. I'm glad that despite Onix being so terrible, Steelix is actually pretty good for quite a few generations. Like, they managed to make something a lot better out of Onix. Even though Steelix eventually fell off, that's just power creep the whole way through. I feel like Kageyama might be a weak link on the team, or at least something that doesn't quite synergize with everyone else. Lack of utility and speed, which is funny because speed is something that Onix does very well. For the power brackets you usually find it in. HDV? Oh, poor Hitmonchan. A design I'd love for a Pokemon that's never had a chance to shine. If I had my choice, I would have picked a good soft reboot point in the series to completely change around a lot of stat distributions for Generation 1 and 2. Oh, heavy-duty boots. Gotcha, gotcha. Are entry hazards even much of an issue for Steelix? Oh, what if Steelix got Rapid Spin? That'd be cool. Don't tell me it actually has Rapid Spin in Generation 9. I can't imagine Steelix having an issue with entry hazards. Okay, after all the many swaps over and over again, I can see it. Bum 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 ba-da-dum bum. We're getting close. We're getting so close. Yeah. Biggest issue is Steelix not having good recovery. Rest lost its utility from like what? Gen 4 out onward. After Gen 4. Nitori should be able to resist whatever the heck comes out here. What were they thinking, though? Adding... not Pokemon of this trainer's type to these Elite Four teams. I do think narratively it works better as making them actually tough trainers by giving them type diversity. But it's weird that we have such a huge gap here in Generation 1. And I don't think a single KO was had that day. Though we definitely want to give the lucky egg to Sidewinder for these. It's literally just vibes. I mean, Bruno looks like the kind of guy who could wrestle a Steelix. You do raise a good point. Yeah, the fewer Pokemon we can beat these guys with, the better. I don't know if we want to concede to Hagatha, or if we just start off with, like... Blocky might be better for an emergency use. And up until then... I hate that this feels like our optimal strategy, just using Zapdos to sweep everyone. You'd personally give Scizor to a Dark-type trainer? Yeah, I can see the vibes. I wish he had a good Dark-type attack for us to use, but... Again, that special attack in this generation. Wonder if we could have gotten away with like a goofy agility swords dance stacking set and then just sweep the entire team that way. Do we have a PP max? Like, we got plenty of ups, but did we ever get a max? Because I think using that on Thunder is just the thing we need to do. I see that too, Secret Potion. I'm kind of sad that that isn't what we ended up getting for Mega Dragonite. Because the fact that they changed it into a special attacker... Well, then again, if making Mega Dragonite Dragon Fairy, that would just completely make Mega Altaria obsolete. And I love Mega Altaria. Regular Altaria... maybe less so. Like, design-wise, I absolutely love Singing Cloudbird. Completely. But I had, like, 3 Mega Altarias in Generation 6 just because it was a very diverse Pokemon with what kind of move pools it can make. You know what, we'll risk it. We're still slower. Alright. I feel like Gengar's bulky enough to survive this. Or we're goated. So with something slightly less scary coming out. Yeah. Now we can Rain Dance. Shame we don't have Trick Room this generation. Otherwise, this would have been an easy, outskilled with the crit Thunder hitting without Rain. Yeah, I feel like Pokemon definitely got its best in Generation 5 because there's so much personality to those animations that they got there. A Skarmory would probably destroy her team pretty well. Let's go, Paralysis. We're gonna completely outskill her. Look at this. Amazing. Though I really don't think we beat Dragonite from... Like, we don't beat, Lance from here. Maybe the champion. We've actually had an easier time with the champion before. I wonder if Thunder Wave Porygon 2 is actually the method. Oh, outskilled. We're gonna hope to survive one hit, and then we just Sleep Powder Leech Seed. Good. Oh. Chesto Berry, but not Lum? Okay. This would be so good if Bugsy had, like, HP Ghost. Or how we could actually beat, like, half of these trainers with just a Blissey, probably. Yeah, especially against Gengar here. I mean, what the heck else does Porygon even do? Do we need Psychic that much? Do we need Thunderbolts? I feel like between Psychic and Ice Beam, we hit most of the targets we're looking to hit. Please tell me we get the remainder of the damage here. And don't end up getting down to, like, 10% HP, please. Gotcha. Yeah, we can scout, but we can't, like, TP stall here, really. Well, if that was a crit, maybe we can recover through a lot of this. Also, is that 2 Mr. Visses? We might just be able to recover over and over again to survive this. Yeah, I think Blocky with leftovers is going to be one of our strongest options. And with that quiet nature, I think... Yeah, I think even a Shadow Ball wouldn't be necessarily too worth it. Worth a try. I mean, it only beats Mr. Vis at this point. Hoping we get a Paralyze. Tank like you've never tanked before, Blocky. You don't have an Eviolite, but you are doing remarkably well. Yeah, I think Blocky keeps leftovers for the entire Elite Four run. Without a good hidden power to abuse on Bugsy, though... Yeah. It's just click Steel Wing. Bugsy could really destroy a lot of grass types, but so does half of the rest of our team. Yeah, you should be holding that regardless. Anti-meta against 3 of the 4 ground type. Flygon, Claydol. I forget who else. I don't think we have any other levitating ground types in Gen 3, so it's got to be something else. And Doug Trio, that's right. Yeah, no, the trace shenanigans on Porygon, love it. So I think... let's try getting some Ice Beams out here. I like the huge level difference we have at this point. Bugsy can still 1v1 someone in here. Yeah, no, of course you can't Rock Tomb. Yeah, not much else that we can get... well, hold on. Here's a wild idea. Huh. Though that's only like 40 base power this generation. I think Steel Wing, no matter what, does more damage. Ah, you do raise a good point. Ah, so you've returned, Xander. I lead the Elite Four. You can call me Lance, the Dragon Trainer. You know that dragons are mythical. Okay, now his dialogue's gonna be the same. Maybe my league challenge does end. Though I don't think his team changes that much, does it? Oh, he probably gets a Kingdra. I thought he would lead with a Dragonite. Yeah, we're not gonna outspeed anything on your team anyway. Oh, you don't have Thunderbolt anymore. I forgot. Except now we probably get another Thunder Wave coming in. Oh, alright. We'll take the risk. No universe where that doesn't one-hit KO. Yeah, I feel like the Dragon Dance isn't gonna do all that much. I feel like Kageyama and Bugsy get some pretty good neutral matchups. I did not expect that. Yeah, I think Kingdra's the only change we gotta worry about here. In exchange for what? One Dragonite? We probably could have done, but we don't have a dragon type attack to hit you with. I think Blocky just walls out Kingdra. Especially with Leech Seed. Yeah, the whole hidden power ordeal in Gen 3 is interesting, but I really feel like it weakens a lot of Pokemon. Especially considering half the types only have hidden powers like stab options. I do think it's really cool that Gen 3 has a lot of... This hidden power is supposed to work for specifically this exact matchup. Carrying HP Grass just for Swampert, or HP Bug just for Celebi. So you choose what walls you. As a Haxorus enjoyer, when it comes down to Skarmory or... like, Skarmory or Fairy types, I know the experience. I think Blocky might beat Dragon... like, all the dragons here, too. Let's go, Blocky! The strongest members of our team get stronger. And quite a few of them end up being left behind, unfortunately. Yeah, we'll keep you for the emergency. Howdy, Lamar! It's been a while! Thank you so much for the affiliate anniversary. Ah, switching in Zapdos there would have been perfect. We did not catch the Mewtwo because we came to the conclusion that it would take way too long to try to catch. This might not one-hit KO. As long as it does more than half, I think we're good. But what you been up to, Lamar? Still striving? Yeah, we decided it was a lot more urgent to actually beat the Elite Four, which... After that, then we get to kind of vibe and do whatever for catching legendaries afterwards. Biggest reason for all of that, all of this is... I mean, it would probably be easier to fight Mewtwo if we had higher level Pokemon and didn't have to rely entirely on some weird light screen strategy just to survive. I mean, Bugsy could just use a few levels. Do we want... Yeah, I think we can risk an Aerial Ace here. Because Steel Wing has only 95% accuracy. Let's see what that does. Less. I forgot Rock Resist. Oh no. I'm so sorry, Bugsy. But yeah, if we had stronger Pokemon just to be able to wall Mewtwo, it would probably work a lot better. Blocky's been doing remarkably well defensively. Second Dragonite? But what about second Dragonite? Yeah, I think the champion starter gets to level 75, which is scary, but I think we have a chance. This should one-hit KO, though Dragonite does have a lot of special defense. Yeah, not quite. Level 8 Sableye. We do not have a way to catch one in this game, otherwise I would for a laugh. Get him, Blocky. I think your Ice Beam's actually significantly stronger. Howdy, Daisuke. Welcome back. Yeah, 131 versus 173 is a huge difference. Maybe not enough to still one-hit KO Dragonite, but oh boy. Well, then our Dragonite comes out. Blocky, you champion! Let's go! Y'all see how I love the duck. This is without Eviolite. Yeah, nope, no worries about striving, Lamar. Do you know about, Rez's competitive circle? Because we are doing... There is a, on the 16th, there's a Strive tourney for a good number of other VTubers. I don't know if you were in that server. Yeah, the Porygon line, and I'm gonna count all of them. That is definitely in my top 10 altogether. The duck is quacked. Yeah, if you need a link, Lamar, let me know. Did not hear. Then let me grab you a link real quick. I think we would have spoken in DMs. Should have just sent you an invite over Discord, Lamar. There we go. Alright, I think we're gonna save before the champion, because I can't remember entirely what the champion uses, and we'll want to have a few proper Pokemon set up for winning the matchup here. Huge level discrepancy on our team, but I'm sure Bugsy and Kageyama will have their chance to shine. I can't remember if we start the battle immediately, so let's just prepare ourselves. You said Heracross, so... Since Sidewinder, I think, can beat both Heracross and Tyranitar, we'll send out Dragonite first. Hey, Xander! You came back, Xander! Haha, that is so great. My rival should be strong to keep me sharp. While working on my Pokédex, I looked all over for Pokemon. Not only that, I assembled teams that would beat any Pokemon type. And now, I'm the Pokemon League champion. Check out this Heracross that I leveled up to like level 70 something that I just caught only a few days ago. Bro stanced up, but little does he know, he was foolish for picking so many quadruple weaknesses on his team. I'm someone who tries to avoid quadruple weaknesses like the plague. Like, if it's not Scizor... Do I have any other favorites that have quad weaknesses? I make a pretty good habit of avoiding that as much as I can. Okay, so what I'm hearing is we don't need Flamethrower on Sidewinder. We need Thunderbolt. Check DMs, it's scuffed. Okay, that is amazing, and that is going in the server very, very soon. Blocky, you know what time it is. Your dance means nothing to a duck. Wait, you're just gonna set up again? Alright. Eat this Thunderbolt. There we go. That's what I'd like to see. Yeah, I think Sidewinder with just like Thunderbolt and the rest of the moves on there gets to sweep through a lot of things. Sometimes it runs Modest of all things. Oh, you fool. You buffoon. With the 2 Dragon Dances, that might be enough. So many Hyper Beams, so little time. Yeah, for Hydro Pump, considering you don't really get enough good flying type stuff to do with it. Yeah, because I know Tyranitar was never the first one out. Let's see what that base 61 speed does for you, buddy. Probably still survives. Yeah, Tyranitar is bulky. I don't think we get KO'd here. Just off of the neutral hit, off of Tyranitar's special attack. So down 1 and down 3. Down 1.5 maybe. Oh, let's go, let's go, let's go. Outrage? Well, it'll do more work than Flamethrower for sure. Though Outrage isn't strong this generation. Oh no, I know Mixed Tyranitar is actually really good. Like one of my biggest surprises was looking at it, and it's got, what, base 95 special attack? Something like that? You have no physical defense, so let's just try this. Yeah, it can still hit really hard. If only you had a good bug-type move to use here. Oh, wow! Welcome with the raid, Lamar! I hope y'all are having a wonderful, wonderful time. Okay, Calm Minds. We probably could have Swords Danced. I don't know if this ends up KO'ing from that. But welcome, Lamar. Thank y'all so much for the raid. I know you were just in here a moment ago, but for anyone else hopping in, we are currently doing the champion rematch. Oh, who comes out? Who? Ah, that's trouble. Also, the AI switched. Excuse me? So, this is where I'd normally use Porygon 2 if Porygon 2 wasn't KO'd. Just gotta steal that Flash Fire because... He said with profound sadness, what else is Arcanine gonna do? Yeah, tracing Flash Fire. Wait, did it Intimidate or did it... Is it Flash Fire? What a cool move. What a cool Pokemon. I wish Arcanine was better. And then we did get a better Arcanine. Gee, you think the Pokemon that's known for using Flare Blitz and Wild Charge should also get a Stab Head Smash? Yeah, Dragonite actually beats most of our rivals' team. Resistance to, I mean, the relatively mixed types out here. We just need Thunderbolt on Dragonite. I think, I mean, I assume Venusaur's coming out next. $75. So let's hope it's a Sleep Powder that misses. Otherwise, what? Giga Drain? We're still faster. Let's go. Timid Blastoise. Timid Blastoise. Oh, Earthquake. Sure, buddy. Beautiful. Excellent. Great idea, I guess. Really? No Giga Drain or anything? We know Zapdos is going to be faster. High hopes. Got him. Oh, right, it knows Solar Beam. I would say the Champions team's actually the weakest of what we have here, but I mean, statistically, we have lost more Pokemon to him than we did to, like, Lance. And that's game. So yeah, Lorelai's kind of the biggest issue. But once we can sweep through everything with Zapdos, so our final team member ended up coming back in clutch to carry us to victory in the very end. I think that's a very poetic way for this to all go. No, that can't be! You beat me at my best! After all that work to become the league champ again. My reign is over already again. It's not fair, always. Gatekeeper's exactly the word you used last time too, Kahila. Yeah, excellent way to put it. Why? Why did I lose? I never made any mistakes raising my Pokemon. Darn it, you're the new Pokemon League champion again. Although I don't like to admit it. Xander. So you won! Sincerely, congratulations. You're the new Pokemon League champion. You've grown up so much since you first left with Squirtle to work on the Pokédex. Xander, you have come of age. Rival. My grandson whose name I can't remember. I'm disappointed in you. I came when I heard you'd beaten the Elite Four. But when I got here, you had already lost. My unnamed grandson, do you understand why you lost? You have forgotten to treat your Pokemon with love and trust. Also, that's like 3 quadruple weaknesses on your team, brother. You gotta fix that up. Without them, you will never become a champion again. Xander, you understand that your victory was not just your own doing. If he had Charizard, it would be 4. The bond you share with your Pokemon is marvelous. Xander, come with me. Ahem. Congratulations, Xander. This floor is the Pokemon Hall of Fame. Pokemon League champions are honored for their exploits here. Their Pokemon are also recorded in the Hall of Fame. Xander, you have worked hard to become the new League champion. Congratulations, Xander. You and your Pokemon are Hall of Famers. Howdy, Lev. Welcome back. Yeah, it does get a little weird with the soft reboot that was Gen 3. In retrospect, my opinion of FireRed has actually declined over time because Emerald has so much more content to offer comparatively, which I can't fault them for. Also, seeing how much Pokemon exponentially improved in Gen 4 and Gen 5 in terms of mechanic diversity, I say it's definitely better as things go on. What a beautiful, colorful team. Thank you, Daisuke. He's so upset he's gonna go legally change his name. He's gonna actually get a name now. I'd love to play through this again with, like, newer generation mechanics. Can I have actual Technician Scyther, please? Alright, we are just short of 3 hours. I'll let the credits roll, but I don't think there's anything responsible that we can fit in the next little bit of time. Plus, we started an hour later than the usual start time, so yeah, once the credits roll is done, we'll be out of here, and our next stream will be focusing on just whatever legendaries we can grab. You find it funny they're called Oak, Daisy, and Blue? I mean, could be short for Blue Bonnet if we're just naming ourselves after plants. Also, speaking of coming in clutch, come here. Oh. Look who decided to show up right at the tail end of the stream. Where's my mouse? There we go. A friend. Shout out to that time when your Hall of Fame was just one of those glitched 100 star me's and that was it. Something save incorrectly? Clutch that cat. Indeed, he gets command grabbed all the time. In fact, where is his comb? There it is. Time to make that Scrunko a happy Scrunko. If he's an Eevee, now would be the time where he evolves, because brushing him maxes out his friendship real quick. Oh, you got some knots in your hair, buddy. Now, I don't want to brush you when you're standing right next to my tea glass. You're gonna get hair in there. So, I believe it's been moved to Saturday now? Yeah. As a heads up, y'all, they have changed my schedule a lot this week. I did give y'all an announcement yesterday, but then things have changed back. Or some things have changed back. I mentioned wanting the 4-day weekend next weekend to my boss. And today, again, because he's also having to change schedule stuff again. Long story short is, my boss has to cover for a big executive teaching thing, you know, teaching someone to get into an executive position, which means for the time that he would have to be working, I have to cover his spot now, and that's why my schedule's been switched around a lot for next week. But luckily, whereas previously I was reduced to 3 days on next weekend for our streamiversary, I am back up to 4, so it's this weekend where I'm going to be spending some time to figure out the plans. Looking at the votes that we have in Discord, it looks like Minecraft might not have been all that popular of a vote. That was still my plan for what we end up doing for a big afternoon thing. The idea I have for Streamiversary is Minecraft in the afternoon and then do our specific streams in the evening. Hopefully it counts as work experience. I'm doing the same work I'd be doing otherwise. Or, I don't know what you're referring to here, Kahila. Rest assured, my company treats its employees pretty well in terms of what ends up going on the books. So, if you're talking about being trained for an executive job or training for any of that kind of stuff, I'm purposefully being evasive. Yeah, people are compensated, and for the work I'm covering, it's just me doing the same thing, but in a different time slot. It's the surf glitch that is nearly the same way you get missing no, but there's also level 130 star muse that lowers itself to 100. That's interesting. So you're talking about the original red and blue stuff. So here's the thing, Kahila. I do not have particular ambitions at my company for what I could get promoted. Like, getting promoted to the position I'm at is the promotion I would have been looking for. In terms of moving up the ladder as for what options are currently open to me at my company, I do not plan on moving up to anywhere nearby on the ladder. What I'd like is to migrate over to a programming or IT or tech position with the company, which is something that counts as a promotion that ends up happening, and they can look at my work experience with the company, and great, all that stuff, wonderful. But any of my immediate bosses do not have a spot within their reach that they can directly promote me to. So at best, they can recommend me for an adjacent position of which it would be someone else's authority, who would be a complete stranger, to judge whether or not I can get a promotion to another position. Hopefully that makes sense. So I'm thinking Minecraft in the early... you know what? Let's just at least get in here. I like how they needed an entire entry there for making Porygon hold the leftovers. And while there are some of my direct bosses that could promote me into a better position, I do not have my ambition to those positions that are available. because that would be exponentially more stress for something that is outside of my desired skill set. I know I want to do computer stuff. I'm gonna do computer stuff, darn it. That's my eventual job goal. Minecraft in the afternoons, and then in the evenings, we do our mix of whatever, so fighting games, deadlock, party games. Saturday is still your generally your best day, right, Kahila? Is between Saturday or Sunday, I'm gonna be messaging around folks for Saturday the 20th, Sunday the 21st, Monday the 22nd, and Tuesday the 23rd. If I'm gonna be including fighting games, I do want to leave the option open for Soku should you be interested, Kahila. I mean, it'll probably be Soku, it'll probably be Guilty Gear, maybe Exerd, maybe Strive. Lots of different fighting game things. I might even have 2 fighting game nights. Like, I'm thinking party game night, deadlock night, and 2... I'm asking you specifically, Kahila, if, what your best days of the week are out of Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday? Because I'm planning on including Soku as an option for Streamiversary. I mean, there's gotta be Toho in the celebration I'm throwing. Oh yeah, ESOD remake. How are we feeling about that? You know, we could probably send Ho to go to fight Mewtwo and wall him very well. Look at that special defense, look at that attack. Alright, so any of them work. Way too excited for ESOD. Well, y'all know I'm gonna have to be, Yeah, Toho Gaiden looks super cool, too. For being, well, Toho-vania. I should be able to get my hands on the Switch 2 very, very soon, so we've got a lot of exciting things improving and changing right about now. Skrunko's getting himself into a comfortable position. Yeah, I'll find a good spot for fighting games. I'll talk to some friends, because I know Fuse would be interested in Soku, so probably a Saturday or Sunday that you and Fuse could be around for that, and then Street Fighter obviously is going to be there for a lot of friends who want to see that. And I think Minecraft is good enough that I can just do that as something extended that I won't really tire out from just from streaming it. Oh yeah, Gartic's on the list. As for party stuff, it would be Gartic, maybe Jackbox. I don't really know that I have any good Jackbox games on hand. If someone else wants to host, if they have the whole collection, that would be great. 100% Orange Juice is definitely on the list because I have a lot of friends who love that game. I put all the stuff on the announcement board. I don't think yeah, nope, that was the roster. So maybe peek if we've got like exactly 4 people who want to peek, that would be fun. I don't think I've even done Gartic Phone on stream, so that would be a first for when it comes around. I'll probably have to save a weekend day for that then, and I'll figure out what ends up happening at certain specific time frames. Jackbox 1, 2, 3, and 6. I know Aaron has most of them. I can end up seeing what works out. Jackbox is fun, but I feel like it might be overdone, and I'll leave it as something to do like later in the night, because I think between all the other party options of OJ, Gartic Phone, we might have plenty of room to just fill that amount of time anyway. Aw, this Bronco's laying on my arm because he's a little snuggle bug. Love him, love him. This weekend I'm going to be working on formally getting out a schedule for y'all. He is shedding like mad, goodness. And giving y'all some time to prepare for next weekend. But expect a lot of room for Minecraft, just as something to vibe with. And then all the cool and creative stuff ends up happening later in the evening. I haven't yet figured out if there's going to be a mod pack for Minecraft, but given the small number of people that seem to be interested in Minecraft stuff, I'll ask who might want to do what. Ideally, I'd like to set up a modded server just to give us more to do than 2-week Minecraft phase, which I think is something that gets old very easily. I've had some servers last for a very long time, but I think at this point with how long 1.21's been around, I'd like to see what mod packs we got out there. And that can ideally be something that lasts quite a bit longer if we have a lot to do, because Minecraft's always going to be popular, and I'm always happy to play Minecraft. Though I gotta be careful about adding too many things that happen every single week, because we already know that's going to be happening again with Mech Warrior once our whole Lance can get around to doing that. I think we're heading into the absolute best potential year for Xander streaming yet. Mostly out of the fact that my schedule's going to be normal again. There's quite a few of y'all, Kahila included, and like most of the folks in here. I mean, Storm was here for a little bit before I got this work schedule, but like Levy, Aaron, a lot of y'all were there in 2022. But if y'all have been here from 2023 and onward, y'all haven't seen me at my best. Y'all have seen me having to work a darn zombie 4 a.m. job, and now that my schedule is going to be a lot better overall, I'm going to be awake, I'm going to be alert, I'm going to be cheerful, I'm going to be so dang active for y'all on streams. And things are going to be so much better coming up soon. Still going to be light on streams for this week and the beginning of next week leading up to Streamiversary. I will see y'all tomorrow for... or not tomorrow. Saturday for more Tomodachi. Which also might just be a whole weekly thing to do, so who knows? Maybe I end up squeezing in as many streams as possible in a week. Who on the friends list is doing anything interesting this evening? Oh, Vicky Sanctus is playing Battletech. I do not see any of the closest friends currently streaming. Would anyone have a recommendation for who we could raid in on? If not, then I'll just find one of my usual friends. One of the regular folks. Yeah, I saw Oak. We did, like, just raid in Oak, so I'm thinking... Like, I've got Oak and Avi Bun at the very, very top of my list, so... It's literally the two people we've raided most recently. You know what? I say we'll raid into Vicky. Probably finishing soon. I mean, yeah, we started late. So, y'all know what we gotta do for a fellow Battletech fan. You dare to refuse my Vachal for our raid-in on Vicky? Let me post that URL for those of y'all on the YouTube side of things. Thank you everyone so dearly for your attendance. Class is dismissed, and I'm looking forward to everything coming up soon.